Okay, I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer for some more people to join. Um, Hope you guys are having a good hump day. Um, I apologize for my look. I know sometimes I have makeup on or my hair's a little bit different, but this is what it is today. This is a Wednesday look. So, yeah, we're just gonna hang on a little bit longer until a couple more people join. So, yeah, maybe like 2 or 3 more, hopefully. If not, we'll just continue on. Hope y'all are having a good day. Cool. So, basically, what I want to talk about today has been kind of tugging at my heart for a while. I'm not going to really get into personal details, personal information, stuff like that. It's unnecessary, it's not needed. But what I am going to talk about is just a broad perspective of what I've been going through, what I've been feeling, and what I've been feeling like the Lord is calling me to convey to you. So, to begin, recently I feel like I've kind of failed a little bit in a personal sense to grow up or have a purpose. And it's been kind of weird, to say the least. So if you're out there and you feel like you've kind of lost your purpose in life or you've let it slip away from you, I'm kind of here to talk about that. I'm also kind of here to talk about how do you find that purpose after defeat? How do you grow up? When somebody tells you that you need to continue to grow or that you aren't fully grown or ready for something, what do you do? How do you react to that? And it's just been tugging at my heart for a little bit more than it should have. I really hope this reaches some people, or if it makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe leave a comment, maybe ask a question, maybe I can clarify. Disclosure, this is my own kind of personal experience. This is how I've been feeling. This is not me looking through databases and surveys and questionnaires about how other people have been feeling, what the mass majority says. This is just me. So, it's just been kind of rocky for me. It's just like everybody else. You go through a hardship and you feel like you've kind of lost your purpose in life. You feel like you've let something else consume your identity and you don't know what your true identity is. Also, a quick disclosure: this is kind of a faith thing. This is a very godlike post. So if you aren't someone that typically believes or may not agree with my beliefs, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own thing. Just know that when I speak about God, and I'm using the New Living Translation and sometimes the King James Version of the Bible. I will be quoting some Bible verses in between. That's just me. So how do you find that purpose? I also have notes here with me, so if I look a little weird, kind of looking off to the side, I have notes just so I don't start rambling too much. How do you find that purpose? And most of the time, you find purpose after the pain. There's hurt, there's something that you go through inside that makes you hurt in a way that sometimes you just can't explain. You try, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's not in the midst of that pain that you're going to find that purpose. And it's most 99.9% of the time, you will not find purpose in the midst of the pain. You will find it after, and you will decide when to start the healing process, and you will decide when to start finding that purpose, and you have to start somewhere. And you can't just get over that pain. Everybody says, I'm over it. Everybody says that. And there's some truth to it. You are over it, you've had enough, and you really would like to just move forward. But the key thing is that when you move forward, you have to move forward. And what does that mean? That means you have to clean out every single wound that you have and all the hurt that has been bestowed on you, and you have to clean it out. It will not heal on its own unless you dig deeper and you figure out the root of your problem. It can be anything. Someone has hurt you. Something is just bothering you. You have insecurities. You have depression. I have depression. I have anxiety. I know. I just got diagnosed. It's awful. It's hard and it sucks. It sucks so bad. And your brain just takes control in a way that you never thought it would. And it's awful. But the key thing to remember is that you choose when to start. You choose when to start finding that purpose. You choose when to let go of anything that has caused you harm, caused you a dysfunction in life. Because once you do, you will feel so much better. Start with something. Like when you ask, oh, what does it mean to start? Find something that you want to do. Could be anything, but don't focus on that one thing, because your purpose could be completely different after you start that one thing. For instance, I got up this morning, I felt so sick. I was just a mess. And I got up and I was moping and I didn't want to get out of bed, and I rolled in and tried to roll out of the bed, and I was just like, this isn't going to work. This is never going to be a good day. And I just laid there and looked at the ceiling, and I just talked to myself like I was just another person standing in front of me. I was like, okay, Chloe, this is what's going to happen. And we need to promise ourselves that this is what's going to happen. So this morning I got up, I took medicine, I dressed myself, brushed my teeth, and I did some yoga, and I feel so much better for it. And it made a difference. It really did. It made a difference. I listened to a couple YouTube videos of somebody that I personally feel influenced by. If you don't have a chance, ladies, check out Jordan Dooley from Soul Scripts. She is from Indiana, and she does a lot of public speaking about the things that I'm talking about. She probably said it first because she's been through it before. But yeah, definitely check her out. It's a really good source to listen to just in any time. Got up and read the Bible this morning. It was a productive morning. And I refused to let whatever was bothering me get to me today. Because I sat there and I've been praying for days, and I know you should be saying, like, I've been praying forever, I've been praying for a lifetime, I've been praying for months, weeks. But it doesn't matter how long you've been praying. As long as you start praying, that's another aspect of when your healing and your purpose can begin. Because you've let yourself open up to the Lord. And it goes back to the question, how do you find that purpose after you feel defeated? How you feel down, how you feel depressed, you feel hopeless, you feel like there's nothing left for you to do. And, I have to say that spark is still there in you. And I see who's, like, joined the video. I don't actually see who leaves. That's interesting. But I know there's 2 people on here right now. So thank you for whoever is currently on here. I may not personally know you. I don't think sometimes we've ever met face to face. We've ever talked. We've ever texted. I just see you on social media. But I know deep down in my heart that you have potential. You have unreached potential. You have great things coming your way. You have a great life ahead. And it all starts when you just commit yourself to the Lord. And it's just as simple as that. So, there is a psalm that I find particularly inspiring to me, and it's Psalm 94, verses 18 through 19. It says, "When I said my foot is slipping, your unfailing love, Lord, supported me. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. And that has probably been the most beautiful thing I've ever read in my life, and sometimes it brings tears to my eyes because how true it is. And I remember when I was going through a really rough phase in my life, when I had just massive anxiety attacks left and right, 5 a day, couldn't get them to go away, no medicine was going to help, if I wanted to go to sleep, I'd have to take Benadryl just because I couldn't get myself to calm down. And one day, thanks to Pinterest, shout out to Pinterest, I found this psalm. And it still brings tears. I'm not going to cry in front of you guys because that's just too much, but that's a little extra. But I feel so much weight is lifted every time I read that psalm. And I just can't explain just how beautiful I think that is. It's so glorious, and God is just so good. And you just have to work through a lot of phases in your life. These are phases. These are not things that define you. These are not things that make your identity who you are, because your identity does not come from other people, other hurt, other situations. It doesn't come from things. It doesn't come from anything else but you committing yourself to the Lord. And that is the most important thing I can stress today, is that your identity does not come from anybody else except you committing yourself to the Lord. Because as much as you try to invest yourself into a relationship, into a sport, into a school function, into a academic environment, it will not work, because you have invested your time into something that will not last the rest of your life. God will last the rest of your life and the life after. And this morning when I got on my yoga mat and I was done doing my stretches and doing my little poses, I wish you could have seen it. It was an experience, because most of you know that I am not an active person. But I just sat down after, listening to my YouTube videos and all that stuff, and I just sat down there and I prayed. And I will admit, I cry when I pray. It's just one of those experiences where you just kind of let yourself go, you let yourself be vulnerable. And it was just one of those times where you said, God, I am a broken soul. I feel broken, I feel defeated, I don't feel whole anymore, and I'm praying that you allow me to find the strength, and you allow me to find my purpose. And I'm so blessed to be living the life that you gave me. And I understand that everything you have done, every person that you have led me to, every person that you have taken away, everything that I have been given is for a bigger picture, a bigger purpose. And I just can't stress that, how important that is. It's really a beautiful thing, and sometimes it doesn't feel beautiful. It feels kind of painful, because when those people get taken away, whether they pass away, whether they break up with you, whether they leave you in any circumstance, try to remember that it's for the best. We don't understand it immediately. We may not understand it a year from now. We never understand it for our entire life. But try to know deep down in the back of your mind that the purpose and the picture that God has painted for you is probably one of the most beautiful masterpieces He will ever create. Because it's absolutely stunning. And it's just for you. It really is. He painted every color, every shape, every figure, every ounce of that big picture, which is your life, for you. Nobody else. And the fact that everybody gets their own masterpiece is something that I just can't fathom. And it's just so beautiful. It's so great, and it almost brings tears to my eyes, because literally sometimes I feel broken to the point where I just feel like I don't have a purpose anymore. And that's just the honest truth. You wake up some days and you just feel like you just don't have a purpose anymore. You feel like, what's the point? Why do this assignment? Why go out and see anybody? Why meet anyone new? But I'm here to tell you that you do have a purpose. And God's got it right up in here in His noggin. And he's got it right there for you. You are never alone. And the biggest thing with me is that I always feel defeated and alone. And it takes a lot to remember that you're not. Because people can't read your mind. No matter how many Snapchat stories you set up, no matter how many Facebook posts you make, no matter how many Instagram stories you make with those little black and white filters that tell you how upset you are, that's not how it works. And that's just not how it works. And you may put those all you want just to get people's attention, to let people know how you're feeling, because you're too afraid to reach out to one specific person and say, I'm hurt and I'm broken and I need a friend. Now I'm going to start crying, but it's okay. It's fine. We'll work through it. We all know this. So, yeah. What was the other one that I had? One thing that I really wanted to make clear is when you start your purpose, you start it one day at a time. And I can't stress that enough either. Nothing that I'm saying right now can be stressed enough, because it's just so important to me that I share this with you guys. It's just, wow, it's just so important. Don't think too far ahead in the future. Don't think about marriage. Don't think about children. Don't think about anything else other than what is happening today. Don't think about what could go wrong today. Think about what could go right. Because that will change your mindset in such a way that you can enjoy each and every day without fear, anxiety, worry, stress. It will all be lifted. Maybe not in the next hour, maybe not in the next 30 seconds, but it will be lifted. And I promise you that it can get better. Psalm 118, verse 24 says, This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Take that one day, one step at a time, and find somebody that you want to take that journey with, because it'll be a lot better if you don't walk it alone. But always remember that if you don't have somebody to walk that path with, you'll always have the Lord. The Lord is right beside you. He's got his hand on your back, patting you all the way, telling you that everything is going to be okay. He really does. And it's just a beautiful thing. It really is. I know I keep saying that, and I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but God is just so good. He really is. Even in the times when I don't understand it, and I feel like my life is falling apart, I feel like my grades are struggling to maintain what they were the first time I went to college. It's just so important. It really is. And it's so beautiful. When someone tells you that you have a lot of growing to do, that could be one of the most pivotal moments and wake-up calls that you ever face, depending on who says it. If it's somebody that means a lot to you and they say that you have a lot of growing to do, it might be time to look at how you've been connecting with others. I just looked up the basic internet version of grow up, but the second definition says to behave in a more mature and sensible way. And to be honest, I don't. Okay, I think we're okay now. I don't know if it disconnected or what, but the definition still says to behave in a more mature and sensible way. And what that means to me is that I can't be childish anymore. I can't hold grudges. I can't feel insecure when someone else comes around into the picture, comes onto the scene, hangs out with somebody else that I know. You can't hold on to those things anymore. You have to learn to let things go in a way where you can find peace, and in a way where you no longer have to find hate in your heart, because I know what that's like. I know what it's like to wake up with hate in your heart, and it's not pretty. It's not great. It's not glamorous. It burns. It burns a lot. It's like a fire, and you gotta put that fire out. You really do. I wish I could say that there was an exact method or model we could all use to just grow up, follow it, grow up, and no one would ever have to tell us that ever again. But that's not the case. We all know it's not the case. And my lights just went out. That's cool. It's just not it. You have to find a way to grow up, mature, be able to let things go on your terms, in your peace, and don't let anything else control your life except the Lord. And I shouldn't say that the Lord controls your life. He guides your life. He gives you reasons to keep going. He gives you signs as to what's going to happen. And He gives you things that will restore your faith, things that you couldn't explain in any other shape or form. And so I hope this helps some of you. I know only about 3 people were watching at max, but I'm hoping other people kind of catch this and maybe leave a comment, just whatever you're thinking. My battery is also dying on my laptop, so everything's going smoothly. Yeah, if you ever want to reach out, you want to talk, hit me up, message me, something. I'm broken too. We can work through it together. We can rebuild together, because there's nothing you or anybody else cannot do. Bye guys, have a great day. God bless.